folks, how we doing today? This is Bill once again with the Nintendo Super Power Club Challenge channel, or NSPC3. Today I am coming to you with a very, what I would call charming, yet very challenging, and certainly very fun action RPG on the Super NES. This is the Twisted Tales of Spike McFang, and this is card number 131 in the collection. So Spike McFang is a game that has largely went under the radar for not just myself, but very many gamers in general, and that could be for a number of reasons. It could be to lack of a good publisher, lack of good press in magazines at the time when it first came out, or maybe the people that played it just really didn't like it that much. And part of the reason is because of the challenge factor. It's very, very difficult unless you take the time to level up your characters, but it can be offset with other various means if you go through getting cards and things of that nature. Very fun, give it a shot. Speaking of which, let's flip this card over and let's talk about the challenge we're going through. Well, I know I said the game itself was pretty challenging, but the boss battle in question here isn't nearly as tough as the encounter up to him. Here's what I mean. Challenge states, using only the spinning hat can you defeat the freezer in the Ice Palace on Pro. Now, why do I say this isn't too tough? Well, honestly, when you use the spinning hat, it allows you to hit him from a distance, which is, in my opinion, much easier and safer than using the melee cape attack. So I really don't know why the challenge was crafted this way. I really think it should have been done as the melee attack instead of this. But hey, it is what it is, as I always like to say. The toughest part, I think, is getting up to the boss with enough health, and even then, even if you get there with very low or next to no health, you can get there with a whole bunch of tomato juice cards to bring yourself back to full life. So you got plenty of things working in your favor. We're going to show you exactly how this works from start to finish. Not too difficult. Here we go. I hate this challenge so much. Alright, let's talk about preparation. First and foremost, the hat. It must be as it is listed on the screen here as the spinning hat. It cannot be anything else, certainly not the lightning hat or the star hat. If you use anything else, the challenge is invalidated. Must be the default spinning hat. Fortunately, going through the game, using the melee cape attack is fine. You just can't do it against certain bosses. Level, I would say, try to be level 11. You could probably beat the freezer at level 10, but level 11 certainly makes the power leveling aspect much easier. Now you see my experience, it's pretty close to level 12. I could take it there if I really wanted to, but I think I'm good where I'm at. So right about here, by the way, this is the room very close to the save point. It's about, I don't know, 75% of the way toward the boss. This is where I power leveled myself all the way pretty much. So you got 5 penguins, they give a total of 200 experience each. You could sit there for about 10, 15, 20 minutes if you wanted to and power level yourself. I decided not to. I think I'm good where I'm at. When you get to this room, just run right through it. You don't have to worry about killing those things. Those ice queens are damn annoying, so just ignore them. Right here, I'm going to do something maybe I shouldn't do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Drop down in this first hole to the left. I've already done this, but just want to show you these little soup spoons here cooking over a pot of soup. You must go to them and get the soup card. If you don't drop down here and get the card the first time, you cannot beat the freezer. He will be invincible. So get the soup card, drop down here, and then you're going to bunny hop your way all the way down here to the bottom left. Just play it safe. You got a couple of ice knights here, I guess, crystal knights. Don't bother killing them or fighting them. They are very tough and not worth the effort. Keep on going. You can keep on power leveling here if you want to. And we're going to keep on moving. Jump right on through. Bunny hop. I've decided to hit him anyway because heck, why not? I'm so close to level 12. Yeah, probably like 2 or 3 more rounds of that and I'm pretty safe. But I'm just going to keep on moving. Bunny hop. Keep on hopping along. Those ice queens are annoying. We're just going to keep on going right through. Alright, now normally, again, we would have gone to the bottom left. This time we're going to walk around these holes, go to the bottom right, far right hole, and that's going to put us very close to the boss fight with the freezer. Now before we walk in there, I want to talk about some of these cards I have. First one you see, this is the tomato juice can. Bring a bunch of those if you can. They will refill your life if you get in a pinch. Maybe not on the boss fight, but certainly as you go through the game, you will need them. Oh, by the way, I've got 8. Yeah, I've got a ton of coins. I just bought as many as I possibly could. Time card is nice, and then the soup card obviously is a necessity. You cannot beat the boss without the soup card. And the balloon card is nice to have too. I had a whole ton of those as I progressed my way up through this game, because if you get in a pinch, you can very quickly get out of there, return to Professor Steam to refill your life, and get various other cards. So stock up on cards as you need them throughout the game, certainly those transport cards as well. Alright, we're going to continue on up. We have one final room here. Just go ahead and jump spin through here. Not too tricky, not too difficult. You have a couple crystal knights. Don't bother fighting them. Just walk right on up through to the north. And here we go. We finally have the freezer once again, round 2. He's going to attempt to smack talk us and say blah, 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 blah. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's your turn to get smacked around. As I said, first thing, break out the soup card. Use it, because if you don't, you will not be able to beat this challenge. It will be impossible. 3 soup bowls. Yeah, I've always found this kind of quirky that chicken soup makes him vulnerable, but hey, whatever, it's a video game, right? Okay, as for the strategy itself, let's take a look at some of the freezer's attacks here. As you can clearly see, there is an icicle toss that he has. He has those yellow laser beams that will come shooting straight out at a 45 or a 90 degree angle. Then you have this thing here. He'll have these yellow laser beams which will go 3 or 4 different points in the room, and then they'll eventually fly off the screen. Sometimes you'll have both those and the icicles hitting you at the exact same time, so you have to be careful of that. And oh, by the way, he'll try to stomp on you. Sometimes he'll do the 2 projectile tosses that I mentioned and a stomp. Very, very difficult to avoid those. But even still, take a look at my health bar. If and when I take damage, it's still not that big. And considering that I have, what, level 11, 10, 11 life bars of tomatoes here, and I have 8 cans of tomato juice, this is not that difficult of a challenge. I've already taken 1 clove of his health down, and obviously he's not going to incur as much damage as I will from the attacks, but when you factor all those things in that I mentioned, this is not that difficult of a boss fight. I would say that the first boss fight with Karina, the cat, or even Croc especially, is far more difficult than this one. Again, the beautiful thing about this boss is that he moves so slow, it gives him plenty of time to throw that hat and not worry about getting hit in the process. With the other bosses like Karina, Croc, or heck even the Root, a lot of those bosses move very, very fast, and you have to jump around and find your spots to be able to throw the hat safely. Even here, yeah, it's true, you gotta move around, duck, dodge, evade projectiles, but still, there are occasions and times here where you're gonna see I might get 3 or 4 shots with the hat off before I have to worry about moving around. Sometimes if you'll just throw that straight laser, again, very simple to get a ton of hats off. I don't even have to worry about taking hits because the tomato juice cans refill my life, what, 6 full tomatoes essentially? Not too difficult of a boss fight if you know what's coming and you took the time to prepare along the way. Beyond that, there really isn't a whole lot else to say here. You're going to see a lot of the same. We've got, what, 4 or 5 cloves worth of health left here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward all the way to the end of this because it's the same old thing. And when we get to the end, we'll pop back in. Okay, here we come out of hyperdrive, just a few more projectiles to dodge and 1 more hat to throw, and the freezer should be as good as gone. There it goes, boom, done. The freezer is done, the ice palace is about to melt, and challenge number 131 for Spike McFang is now officially in the books. We are mercifully done with this challenge. I can't tell you how much time I wasted the first time going through this when we used the wrong hat, but now that it's finally done the right way, add both of those playthroughs together, I hope I never have to play this game again. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm done with this game forever. So looking ahead, we got Link's Awakening coming. I am so excited to finally get to this one. I've been looking at it a long time. Gonna break it up over multiple chunks, just like we did with FF6. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next challenge.